You didn't need to see Marshawn Lynch's jersey number to know it was him on the field. You didn't even need to see the visor of the dreads, although they were hard to miss. You could recognize him from way up in the nosebleeds or on the television on the far side of the bar. He was the man with the ball getting low. Not low like other runners, not hunched at the waist, but low from his hips. Legs fired out wide, pistons angled 45 degrees from the ground, ready to make him move laterally like a video game glitch if defenders made it into the backfield. Tackling him was like upending a bottom-heavy trapezoid. He's retired now, and even though it'll be 5 years before he's eligible, there's already discussion about whether Beast Mode would make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And depending on how you look at it, he was either a historically gifted runner who powered an all-time great team, or he didn't accrue enough stats to stand with the all-time greats. But the two sides of that argument miss a bigger point. Marshawn Lynch ain't give a fuck about the Hall of Fame. Granted, this is just my hypothesis. I don't know Marshawn and I can't speak for him. But everything I've seen suggests that this is a man who could not possibly give a shit about an honor bestowed by the media, especially one that requires wearing a sports coat and traveling to Ohio. This is the man who grabbed his crotch at the end of both of his career-defining touchdown runs. The man who got a Skittles endorsement by treating a stomach illness with candy. The player who rarely spoke to the media but coined a phrase that is now ubiquitous in mainstream culture. A man who freely speaks to Conan O'Brien on national TV but won't give a quote to beat reporters. A silence so stubborn that it was the most prominent story leading up to not one but 2 Super Bowls.
I'm here so I won't get fined.
And when he did give an interview, he delivered something more memorable and lasting than more talkative players could ever hope to say.
I'm just about that action, boss.
From what I can tell, Marshawn Lynch cares primarily about 2 things: representing Oakland and getting paid. And he's really good at both of them. He doesn't tolerate bullshit, and he's not gonna change a thing about himself because you'd like him to. And let's face it, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is kind of bullshit. Now, maybe not bullshit to you, certainly not bullshit to Joe Montana, but it's the same kind of bullshit that Lynch spent his entire career trying to avoid. It's an elite club guarded with utmost seriousness by a 46-member panel of NFL media stalwarts who are primarily white, male, and from a print background. The moral relativity of the Hall of Fame committee can be eye-opening. Peter King famously wrote that Darren Sharper, currently serving 9 years in prison for serial rape, will be judged solely for his acts on the field. The committee doesn't necessarily mind habitual cocaine abuse, a felony conviction, or being an accessory to murder, but their opinions are still shaped by who gave them access and who gave them a cold shoulder. When it comes to the Hall of Fame, the only real crime a player can commit is shunning NFL reporters. Fun fact, right now there are more Hall of Fame players in prison on a makeup call than there are Hall of Fame players with dreadlocks. And while that's mostly a result of dreads being a relatively recent trend, it still feels strange to ask, could Marshawn Lynch really be the first player with dreads in Canton? Here's a better question. Can you picture Marshawn Lynch speaking at a podium while wearing one of those baby shit yellow jackets? As far as I can tell, the last time Lynch wore a suit was in 2011 when Amari Stoudemire tried to outfit him for the ESPYs. Here's what Lynch said back then while trying on Dolce & Gabbana, and pardon my whiteness. Brah, I'm not trying to be wearing nothing small. Can't be looking like Urkel, not being able to breathe because the clothes are too tight. And this ain't street, this is Wall Street. Not surprisingly, he ended up not wearing a jacket to the ESPYs. Oh, but I'm sure he's just dying for the honor of wearing a yellow blazer and making a speech. Lean back and get comfortable. The guy who retired by tweeting an emoji is gonna be talking for a while. Whatever happens in 5 years or in 6 or 7 or 10, whether or not he gets into the Hall, Marshawn Lynch is still going to be himself. His highlights will not become more jaw-dropping with his induction, and he doesn't need to make a speech to cement his greatness. He never did. And that's why it doesn't matter if he's a Hall of Famer. When you're an individual as fiercely authentic as Beast Mode, you don't need admission into some elite club. They're the ones who need you.